I feel the most when I'm alone. I think of you 'cause when you're gone, I remember the feelings, they're hidden in the dark. I never let my feelings show. I feel the most when I'm alone. But now the rush is longing to be waking up. I belong in your future, but I'm fighting in the dark. You never let your feelings show anymore. We don't kiss the way we used to anymore. You don't hold me like you used to anymore. You're holding on to feelings, let them pour out on me. On me. On me. Now what's the point to be alone? My life is empty without you, there'd be no home. I done wrong in the past, but I was fighting in the dark. And I won't hold my feelings back anymore. I wanna kiss the way we used to anymore. You don't have to wait anymore. I'm holding on to feelings that I'm pour out on me. I feel the most when I am all alone, 'cause feelings are so hard to show you.
Hello.
Toast. Hello. Good morning. Good. And a morning. How's it going? This camera no longer cares. This camera's like giving up trying to keep both of us on screen.
No, it hasn't.
It's just like, whatever. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba.
It kind of has, hasn't it?
Almost, yeah. It cares less now. It's like, whatever, guys. I work hard, okay? What? Ah, here we go. The keys. Hey, thanks for sending them in. Yeah, this Sunday morning we're gonna go over the challenge. It's fine down there. It's fine down there. Do 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 do. How's everyone doing? Ba-ba. 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 La 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 la.
Hello. I'm here. Hello.
Lemons and oranges is good. Awesome. Heck yeah. I'm doing okay. I wish I'd woken up a bit earlier, but you know, I haven't. So now I must live with this.
You must live with the consequences of your choices.
I must live with this. I like gesturing with my hands. Sometimes I'm too close to an object and I just end up picking it up in front of my face instead.
Do you want another button for gesturing?
I don't know if there's any buttons spare on my controller currently.
I don't know either.
Ba.
I feel like the
You
camera...
could make B the pickup button. Since B is also the use object button. No, wait, that wouldn't be very good because then how would you put it down?
Yeah.
We do have some unused buttons. That's fused. That wasn't me. But I pressed B.
Yeah, I think B's generally doesn't do anything unless you're near something that it... B's the use object near you button.
Use my knife button. Martina's a bit hungry. Dark Vault's doing fine, still a bit groggy from waking up. Big Bad Secret Darkness says, does the toaster launcher seem a bit loud to anyone else, or is that just me? Is it super loud?
I can tone that down.
I can't get it. There we go. Let us know. What do you think?
You got me. Oh no, you got me again. No!
Oh yeah, look. Doris put a little hi-fi in the background.
I put a little would you want to see my hi-fi? Look.
I love it. It's great.
Hi-fi. Yay. It's booming.
Thank you. Yeah, Dark Vault says I like the boombox. Morning, Susie Draws.
It does the tunes. Does the tunes.
It do the tunes.
Boom 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 boom.
It's true. Well, I guess we should hop over and get started on the Annie Morning Challenge reviews then. Waha! I'll give you guys a brief rundown of what the challenge was before we go over. Just so you know, in case you don't.
Wait, there's this one.
Throw it up. I mean, yeah, awesome. Yeah, so this week's challenge was to create a breakdown between these two frames and then in between a little bit so we could see what the effect was on the overall motion. Basically trying to teach or practice to those who already know how much of a difference having a breakdown frame can make and how changing the breakdown affects the motion between two static keys that remain the same. Breakdowns! Breakdowns!
I'm just checking something.
Okay, no worries. I'll just hang around here. See if I can...
It's all good. It's all good.
What is it?
I'm just moving us over to the right screen so we're not on Starting Soon anymore.
Okay.
I did it. It's done.
Good job. Thank you. Awesome. All right. Let's hop over to the place.
Okay, you'll need to turn on NDI on the screen that you wish to show.
It's on.
All right.
Is that okay? Are there any problems that you can foresee?
I didn't see it being on, for one, but
Gosh.
maybe I need to turn it on.
It should be on. Oh!
We'll head over. We'll go see.
Okay.
That's a problem.
That's a just big sky. That's
That's
beautiful.
That's a problem.
What's the problem? That there's just sky.
Yeah, there's a problem.
Is this not someone's submission?
No.
Did someone not just draw sky?
Oh no.
Let me double check my NDI. One sec.
No, no. Oh.
Oh, it's
dear.
you.
Yeah, it's my. I made a
You've
problem.
ruined it. Can't believe the whole stream's over. I can't believe it. It's ruined.
Hang on here. I'll just close this,
Well,
and then
I thought there might be more collision on that banister than there was.
no, there's not.
More than none. Wait, there is
Um,
some. Did I just get a spot where it was easy to run through?
Is it? Yeah, your screen's there. I'll just restart the overlay while you talk about what you're talking about.
Alright, I'll just hang out with chat. Ba-ba. Cosmic T, you are! We just started! So you're in perfect time to see things. Do, 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 do. Yeah, what are you guys up to today? You got any plans for this Tuesday? Stuart says, stares at beautiful sky. Oh no, this is all wrong! Hey, morning Tips! How are you doing? Oh, we back up, though?
Well, ha. Hello. Yeah,
It looks like it.
should all be working.
Ooh, ah! Oh, I'm so yawny today. Yes, okay, awesome. Cosmic T, your Tuesday's coming to an end. Oh no! Are you ahead of us in time? You're in the future.
Oh, you in Australia or
Future.
New Zealand or something? I'm tired. It's got to be said.
Oh, Tip says I'm doing okay. Slept terribly, but I did a quick morning workout. I'm feeling okay now.
Oh, that sounds good.
I'm glad you're feeling better. And geez, well done on the morning workout. That's awesome. I'm glad that helped you feel a bit better.
What this? This or
Oh, look, it's a thumbnail from Martina. Oh, thanks so much, Martina. This is great.
Oh,
Look,
thank
it's
you.
so cute. Look at me. Look at me. I'm so cute.
You're like, aha.
Ah. Okay. I'm gonna get my drawing hands on, and we'll go through these breakdowns. Breakdowns.
Breakdowns.
Breakdowns.
Breakdowns. I'll demonstrate. I did it.
One donut says, I'm losing my mind frantically learning After Effects for a gig that landed at my feet. I've never used After Effects before. Can you get into a call with anyone who has, like a pal, who can talk you through some stuff? If not, then if anyone's got any good tutorials, feel free to recommend. Join the workout goodness. I'd love to. Oh, I feel like it would make my day so much better.
Tib just gave you 5 burpees.
Gave me 5 burpees. I just had cereal. I'm gonna stockpile them, okay? I'll do them in like 10-15 minutes when my tummy's settled a bit more.
Do them
so
at
that
the end.
so I don't barf milk everywhere.
Do them at the end.
Okay, I'll do them. Hold me accountable, chat, and make sure that I don't wiggle my way out of them. Powerbro, were you summoned? I mean, if us being like, it'd be nice if Powerbro was here is summoning you, then I guess so. Hey Powerbro, how's it going? 10 burpees! Oh, I'm gonna have the strong in all of my limbs. I would love to get back into a workout routine though. That'd be fantastic. It felt nice to do that every day. Back when I did it. Anywho, okay, let me get started on this. I'm going to take my notes off to begin with, so we can just watch it without seeing scrolls all over it.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, good job.
Yeah. So this first entry is from @Takba,
Takba, yeah.
and they say, "Thanks for organising these challenges. You're super welcome." It's very simple.
Let me join your sync sketch so I can watch too.
Thank you. Let me know when you are here. It's the first one I take part in, and it was a lot of fun. Hey, first time challenger. Well, I'm really glad that you had fun doing it. That's awesome. That's like the main thing. So I'm going to play through. Look at these. So fun. So I chose to put this one first because I thought this was a great example of the challenge. Because this is executed, really well. The breakdowns are marked, which is awesome. I'm sorry that I forgot to ask you guys to mark the breakdowns. There are some entries where I had to guess what the breakdowns were, but that's my bad for not remembering to say on the form to mark the breakdowns. I feel like there's something I overlook every challenge. But yeah, you can see the breakdowns are marked here. And the breakdowns are different between each motion, and you can see how that affects the motion. So this challenge is executed perfectly. I also want to say that I just really love the bum overlap here. It's super fun. The overlap and the settle, where the head's going down while the bum's going up, and then the bum's kind of dragged down after the motion.
That's real nice.
It creates such a nice sense of weight. That spine reversal is super fun. So now I'll just hit my notes on. I don't think I had much critique on this one because it was already working pretty well. So yeah. The butt bounce is amazing. And the spacing is great. So this isn't to do with the breakdown necessarily. But I just really like the spacing where we really hang around with the hammer here at the top of the arc for a long time. And then there's this great smear here. And it makes the hammer feel so heavy because of the contrast between the spacing. Fun. And then the settle's super nice too. There's not so much of a settle on this one, but I'm assuming that's just because you ran out of time, which is totally fair. 3 hours is not a lot when it comes to animation. Something that you quickly realise as you do a challenge is oh geez, 3 hours goes really fast. So yeah, in this one, they start bringing their bum down sooner. And we can see that the breakdown here is way more curved. Love the reversal here of the spine. Super nice. Yeah. You'd think that this would be more of an impractical pose, but I think I prefer the feel of this one. I love the way that you've really lent into the weight there. But seeing the two different breakdowns and how much they affect the motion is really fun. So yeah, great job, Takba. You did awesome. Thank you so much for taking part in the Animorning Challenge.
Thank you very much.
I hope you had a blast doing it as much as I had a blast watching it. Next we're going on to Noobish Core! I need to take the notes off before we go to them so that it doesn't start with just red everywhere. So
that's okay.
I know, it's just oh gosh, what do I read? Which part do I read first? So
Noobish Core says learning mode activated.
Here we go. Do you want to read out what Noobish Core said, or do you want me to?
I will. Okay, so Noobish Core said, "This is really the first time I've worked on familiarizing myself with terminology between the last animation timing chart challenge and this breakdown challenge. Honestly, I'm still not sure what the difference, if there is any, between breakdowns and in-betweens. I may have also gone over the 3-hour time limit on the second breakdown alone. Lots of redrawing because things didn't look right. Ultimately though, it was a fun challenge."
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm glad that you had a good time as well. Yeah, terminology is tricky to get hold of, but once you've got it, Like, it makes describing stuff a lot easier, and it just makes organizing yourself when you're working a lot easier. And yeah, don't worry about going over the 3-hour time limit. That thing is it's difficult to keep to, you know? Let's have a look. I will play through. The motion here is so fun. Hold on, I'm going to put it on 12 so we can see it a little bit easier. 12 frames a second. Here we go. Look at that second one. No wonder you went overtime. There's like a whole like flip and catch and then little hop and then smash with the hammer. I love the creativity behind the poses here. I think you can tell that you had fun with it, which is awesome. So let's see, the notes I've made here are mainly just to do with the fact that you said that you were still not sure what the difference between breakdowns and in-betweens was. So I wanted to like do a little explanation up front. So I've written, think of a breakdown as a waypoint between two keys. So I've got a little example here. So if you were given this key pose on the left here of this ball and the key pose on the right of the ball, and we're just in-betweening it without any breakdowns, you would probably just go straight between the motion, right? However, if you were given these two keys and this breakdown position, then you would in-between it completely differently. So the breakdowns really define how the motion works. You know, they are an in-between for better or worse, but it's more like they're an in-between that's needed to describe the motion. And therefore they're elevated in importance and become known as breakdowns instead. Often people don't necessarily go straight for the in-betweens when animating. They'll do keys first, then breakdowns, because the breakdowns literally help them break down the motion. And that's where the name comes from.
Oh, I see. I get you.
Yeah. So it's like a lot to do with the order of working too. You know, the keys give you the most important thing, like what is happening. And then if you add in the breakdowns, the motion starts to form where you can see how it would be in between.
Yeah. So the keys are kind of like what the motion is, and the breakdown is how that motion is how it go.
Yeah. One of the things which I saw, which has been quite common in this challenge, is thinking of the breakdown as a key rather than a waypoint between two keys. Like, a breakdown should be on its way between two keys.
Yeah.
So you don't generally like hold on breakdowns or ease into breakdowns. If you're easing into something, it's probably going to be a key.
And if you're working in arcs, it's kind of like if a car is on a street and it needs to go along the street, but the street isn't straight. It's like, where's the midpoint of the street? But you're not going to add in a left turn or a right turn, because that would be a key. Like if you were giving someone directions to drive a car.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, let me flip forward to the next note. It's weirdly hard to describe what these things are, but when you get the feel for them, like, you'll know. Thank you for people in chat for clarifying as well, because I'm not always the best at explaining things vocally. So it's great to have people in chat who are breaking it down in a little bit easier to explain way. So let's see. So yeah, I would say this is key 1, which you've written down here. I'm just writing it up here for because I was going through it and making my own notes. And then I see that you've started to label each in-between here as a breakdown, whereas they would be considered in-betweens rather than breakdowns. You'll probably only have one breakdown for this motion, probably. There are different motions where you would have multiple breakdowns for them, for sure. Especially complex motions, you might want multiple breakdowns for them. But for this one, you probably only need one. So I would probably label maybe this as a breakdown. And then your second key is when the hammer hits. So if you were going to be planning this this movement out, you would have this and you would have this. And then between those, you would pop the breakdown. And then you would do the in-betweens because you would know, like, okay, this is the spacing of the motion, this is the timing of it, this is where my position's going to be on this frame in the middle here. And then you would go in between that and fill out the rest of the pieces. So, breakdown 2, I couldn't really find a breakdown in here because the entire motion is like, there's so much stuff that happens in it that it's very hard to like, there wouldn't be just one breakdown for this. There would also be multiple keys for this if you were going to plan this out. But I took just a little bit at the end and was like, okay, if you were going to do this, this would probably be the key. Potentially the breakdown, and then the second key. And this is just to show you like how to keep it like simple and what the breakdown would be if you were taking something like this. For this kind of stuff, there would be a lot more keys involved, I think, because there's so many actions taking place. Right? You're swinging it, spinning it in the air, catching it, hopping down, and then bringing it up and bringing it down again. So it's just a little overcomplicated to be able to nail down that breakdown there. But I do think that the motion's super fun.
Cool.
So yeah, I hope it makes sense a little bit more.
They're saying, okay, that makes more sense. Breakdown is a subcategory of in-between that instructs further how the in-between should work. Learn by failing. Thank you for the information.
Yeah, you're super welcome. Yeah, it's more like it's almost more like a breakdown as a subcategory of a key. Spotify.
Hi Spotify.
Hi Spotify. You're okay, Spotify. I'm good. Yeah, it's more like it's a subcategory of a key, just because in terms of importance, I wouldn't want to like psychologically imply that it would be less important than in between by saying it's a subcategory of an in between. In terms of importance, it's just below keys in describing the nature of the movement.
Yeah.
Like, one of the ways which I always found it helped me to remember was, I think in Richard Williams' book, Animated Survival Kit, he describes that the keys tell you what happens and the breakdowns tell you how it happens. It's always easiest to grasp when you're applying it to simple motions. But once you get the hang of it, you can start seeing it in more complex character movement.
All right.
Yeah, great job, Nubishkor, and thank you very much for taking part.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now we have Astral Libraries. I need to learn to take the keys off. These notes off first. I don't want to spoil people.
I don't know if you can.
I can. I just have to remember to turn them off before I go to the next one.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So this is Astral Libraries. Do you want to read what they said?
Yeah. Let me get my notes. I think my second one, the movement I chose was so different to what was implied by the keys that just one breakdown wasn't enough to properly convey what I had in mind. Would it be better to use multiple breakdowns, or would what I did actually be considered more like a keyframe? By the way, the purple frames are my breakdowns, teal are in-betweens. Also, following your advice from last time, I animated these at 24 frames per second, and it made much a big difference in how precisely I was able to time things. So thanks again for your help.
Hey, that's awesome.
Woo!
That's great to hear.
Legacy knowledge
Knowledge.
applied.
Let's have a look. Nice. I laughed so hard the first time I saw this. I was like, oh my gosh, it's going places. It's going. Okay. I love it. This is super cool. This is a really good example. Like, especially the first one with this breakdown here really defines how the motion happens. If I just mark this key on my notes. Boop. There we go. Then you can really see how this would define what happens with the motion. between these two positions. So yeah, the one thing I'd say is that you anticipate first going back down, which would either be another breakdown or just a key, I think, your anticipation, because the motion that you're breaking down is really from this to this, with the breakdown being here, with this anticipation being kind of its own thing, an outlier. So I would either make that another key, or I'd have two breakdowns in there. You know, one where you're like, okay, I need to add a breakdown because I know that I want anticipation here, so I'm adding it in. And then I know that the breakdown I want is going to be in the air here. So yeah, great stuff. Love this. Like, really nice example of how having that middle pose is like, oh, that's what the motion is. Okay, cool. If you're going to hand this to an in-betweener, they would give you the result you want because that breakdown is there, essentially. So, and then the next one, like, yeah, I think you're right. It would probably need more than one breakdown. It's, the motion goes places that I was not expecting. I live! So I've tried to break down pun, where I would put the different types of key and the different types of breakdown, but we'll see if I've done an okay job.
I think mostly what India tried to do was break down all your motions without breaking down.
Yeah. So yeah, key 1, and then I'd probably have key 2. A good way to think about it is if you were going to give, in fact, I've written it. If you're going to give your scene to someone else and you can only hand them your key drawings, what would they need to understand the scene? And then the breakdowns are like, what would they need to animate that in the way that you would want them to do it? So, for example, you could give someone this frame, and they'll be like, okay, yeah, I know what to do between these. In between this, so that's a key, right?
Yep.
And then between this and this, that's probably going to be another key.
Yep.
Right?
Right.
Because this is another motion that we could like in between before things start to change around. And then I've also written that this next key and this key are great examples of the difference between a key and a breakdown. So we're going to go from here to here, right? So if you give these two drawings to someone, these two key poses, they would probably just in between straight, right? They would go from this, shrinking into the distance, with like just a smooth line from the head to the smaller head in the distance.
If you were doing this on Gartic Phone, yes.
Yep. But the breakdown here goes down in space, and that means that instead we get this swooping motion. Right? So that's like really defining how the motion is working. So that's a great example of like what I would consider a breakdown being. Is here are the two keys, but this breakdown means that the motion has a swoop in it instead. Because instead we're going A, C, and hitting B on the way.
Anyone here used vector programs where you're drawing with vectors? You know when you have like two key points and then you're able to draw a new point, but when you hold down it turns into a curve. You ever done that, Swifty?
What's that now?
If you're working in vectors and you have two vectors, maybe you did it in Toon Boom or whatever, and then you have the tool that lets you add another point.
Yeah.
The Bezier curve tool, yeah. And then you click and drag and you hold it down and it pulls it out and there's a third point and it's a curve.
Yeah, yeah.
That Bezier point is a breakdown of the vector drawing because you had the two keys, boom, boom, and then you drag it and there's a curve between them.
In the simplest possible terms, yes. It doesn't always have to be like denoting a curve, though it frequently is, but it doesn't need to be that. It can be anything, like an interesting position in a walk. Like, for example, a lot of people use passing position as a breakdown position. And changing what that passing position is completely changes what the walk is, even if the two contact positions, which would be considered your keys, are consistently the same.
Yeah.
Like, the walk is still timed the same, it's still spaced the same, but that passing position changing and becoming a breakdown instead, and people like really pushing that, gives you a completely different walk.
Yeah.
So yeah. So then we're bringing the hammer down, and I'd probably just make these all keys. Like, I feel like there's not much in between you could do here. These are more just individual drawings by themselves. And then, yeah, nice smoke clear there. Like, this is awesome. I love this motion. I think you would definitely need more than one breakdown to break down this motion. But I love it. I think you did an awesome job.
Super cool.
And yeah, definitely not what I expected to happen. Oh man, there's a couple of animations here which really took me by surprise. I'm looking forward to showing them all to you guys, because heck yeah, you guys really nailed it this week. All right, let's hop on ski to Moodig FX.
Yay!
We didn't have any comments from Moodig FX, so we're just gonna have to. They did post this on Twitter though, right?
Yes.
So they probably said something there. But
yes.
But yeah, I'm just gonna play this for you guys. Enjoy. Okay? Enjoy. What do you think to that? I love this animation so much. Huge poot. I love it. Tall Swift is best Swift. So yeah, these are like really fun poses. This is a really fun animation.
Moody GFX says, so I took this breakdown a little too far that it ain't a breakdown anymore.
Yeah.
The other more direct one is going to be in the comments. So that's the second one.
Gotcha. Roger.
And then I think they showed what their breakdowns were for each.
Oh, amazing.
Which was, can you see this one?
Can people see it?
They can't, but I'm seeing
well
it.
then,
You can.
Send the link to me then.
I'll do it into the chat so everyone else can see it.
Thank you. Yeah. Let me bring it over. Here we are. Awesome. Yep, so this is the breakdown on the second animation that you guys saw. So they pushed it back a little bit further than they would usually. And then continued that arc forward into the swing. And then this is the breakdown for the first one. Amazing. Things happened on the way there, I have to say. So yeah, you see, it's cool how they recognised that by the time they'd finished with this, it wasn't really so much a breakdown anymore because of everything else that happened in the animation. Like, the animation would need more breakdowns for it to to be able to be animated that way if you gave it to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Let me hop onto my notes. Perfection. So yeah, we have key 1. And then I'd be like, that's probably another key for me. I don't know. Like, we go in places. I am become Blimp, destroyer of worlds. And then I would probably have said that was the breakdown if I was guessing. And then I put another breakdown here. And then I'd say that would probably be a key. And then that would be another key. With the poot coming out of the boot. Gotta get that poot in the boot. I love, like, the feeling of force here is really nice. With, like, the hair going and that slow ease. It's really nice to have that contrast between the flappy motion of the hair and the slow ease of the clothes.
Yeah, that's real good.
And then the snapback is really satisfying. Like, you obviously know what you're doing with animation. And this is a really fun motion. made me laugh so hard. Can't even. So this one was like a little bit easier. So here, the one which you had as a breakdown is the one that I marked as potentially being a key 2. So again, separating out that that anticipation. And then maybe labeling that as the breakdown. But I can totally see how you could use that as a breakdown instead. It's because we settle into a hold there, that it felt to me like a key.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if we're going to hold for a long time in a place, I feel like it's easier to just chart it out as one simple action. Where you're like, okay, this is going to be the anticipation, you know, from frame 1 to like, what, frame 5 or something. And then you're like, okay, so from, if you're going to hold frame 5, like from frame 9, then we're going to go into the hammer swing. And hammer swing is going to be like, woof, 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 or something. You know?
Gotcha.
So that's why sometimes I separate things out like that with the anticipation. Because it feels easier just to be like, okay, cool, anticipation is going to be this, and then we're going straight from the anticipation into the rest of the motion.
Yep.
Is it feels simpler to me to chart it out that way than to try and chart out the anticipation as being like here, but then we're going to hold for a really long time and then continue on like that. You could totally do it that way though. It's just my little bird brain likes to separate things out to make them like as easy as possible for me to read with my eyeballs, because otherwise I get confused easily.
Yeah, you keep it simple so that you can understand it.
Yeah.
In the specific terms.
So let me like relabel this correctly. So this would be the breakdown. Can you just double check that with me, Doig?
What's that?
That this is the breakdown. I just want to make sure that I'm getting it right. Because I closed the window.
I believe... No.
Nope. Which one is it?
It's the one where the leg is bent.
Okay.
That one.
This one.
Yeah. Ula says, I too separate things out because I am a simple person.
Yeah, it just feels like breaking it into smaller chunks is a little bit easier for my brain to handle. When I have too many different things happening on one chart, that's when I like descend into a pile of like frothing drool and melt into my chair, and then I'm on the floor, and that's the end of my day. So let's see. Yeah, the breakdown here between here and here definitely makes sense. But I would say this like little hold here, it'd be pretty strange to go into this knowing that this is your destination. If you were to in between straight from this to this, I feel like you would do it slightly differently. So I do feel like this might be like an additional breakdown here. Because in betweening straight from here to here makes sense. And then having this next frame be a set position makes sense as well, between this and the next key. You can see how that motion is like nice and straightforward, makes sense. Yeah, great job. This is like so fun to watch.
Yeah, it's got a lot of appeal.
Let's go watch that first one more time. The face distortion! Come on, that's so good. Are you kidding me? That's hilarious. Oh my gosh, I love it. Seeing the air travel up into my head. Incredible. This is how I got to hammer everything from now on.
I love that everyone's taking the model that you kept simple and was like, I'm just going to make it Swifty.
I thought you were going to say that you love how different everyone's interpretation of this has been.
That too.
Yeah, because it's amazing. Like, there are no two similar entries. Everyone's done something so different.
Turn off your notes.
They're off.
Oh, good.
So you're going to read out the...
Oh, yep. So this is from Anne-Marie, or Anime. I tried to focus on things like weight and settling secondary motion to help the breakdowns feel like they fit naturally into the keys. It was a bit challenging to figure out the arc of the hammer while keeping my weight in mind. I felt like I improved on accurate leg proportions for India's character. You could say my skills have reached new heights.
Let's have a play. Yeah, looking good.
Nice.
I like the long leggles. They feel very me. I like them. Yeah, you did a nice job keeping the consistency of proportion here. I will say, like, definitely, like, after seeing previous works as well, I think that you've improved on keeping your proportions consistent. So great job, anime. I would love to have seen a second breakdown to show how the motion would have differed if you'd have changed up that drawing. But I'll take this. So, yeah. This is the breakdown here. Again, it's an anticipation breakdown. And yeah, I think it's working because it doesn't feel like it's ever stops being in motion. We never like settle into a hold on it, which makes it easier for my brain to comprehend it as a breakdown rather than another key. And the feeling of force here is really nice, anime. Like, I really like these very tight together frames here, the spacing being very small, and then going into this huge swing here. That's really satisfying. I think you did a great job. So let me turn on my notes. Yeah, lovely sense of weight. I see that you were talking about how it was difficult to keep the arc. You did nail the arc, so great job. But I do worry that you nailed it by perhaps leaning on that smear too much. So I've just put a little note to say, careful not to lean on smears too much.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I believe in your ability to do it without needing to draw the entire arc. I think you can do it. Like, I think your instinct on having this key here was real good. I think that you could have a 1 in between these two poses where you swing that hammer over and then you could have the smear starting to settle here, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Just for like 1 frame or something. But yeah, I really like seeing that hammer start to come back over, and then I like the idea of having the smear frame come after that, and then having 1 like remaining frame of the smear settling here before you come out of it. I think that'd work really well. But yeah, nice spine reversal going on. Like, it's a really nice motion. I think that you have you've done well to get the feeling of weight. I think if you wanted to push that feeling further, I'd hold on this second key here a bit longer. So if you would have this key without the smear after you've finished settling the smear, and just hold that for a few more frames, I think it would help to the sense of weight, because the character would need to take a second to recover from swinging the hammer so hard, rather than just immediately getting back up.
Mm-hmm.
You could even add a little bit of screen shake in there to really sell like the heft of the hammer having swung down and hit the floor, and shaken the camera that's looking at it because of the force expelling outwards. Yeah, and then the stand up itself, I think you could drag those hands down a little bit more. So like even the handle of the hammer is heavy. So we're starting a little bit more down here and then coming up. And you could spend a few more frames getting there, just again to sell the weight. As Patrick would say, slower slows and faster fasts will make it feel more dynamic.
Very cool.
Yeah. As well as screen shaking, using this smoke that you started is like a really great idea. Like always getting some effects in there to like really show the force. I think is a big help. Have it like expel outwards and clear. You know, you can use that time when your character is holding there for a few more frames to get that smoke pushing outwards. All right. Great job. Am I hopping on? Oh no, I've left my notes on. Stop. There we go.
So this is from Peeling Bananas. No notes.
Okay, no notes from Peeling Bananas, but notes from me. But let's have a look. These are amazing. Oh my gosh. Again, like the motion's so unexpected and so fun. I fucking love these drawings so much. Help. Yeah, this is incredible. Like, awesome work. So fun. Oh, I've paused on the perfect frame. Alright, let's hit my notes on. I think they're on. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I've written fucking amazing because it is. It's so fun. I love watching this. I'm amazed, like, this must have taken you way more than 3 hours to get this, like, inked up and everything. You kidding me? But yeah, look at these drawings. These are so fun. So this is one where the breakdowns weren't marked, so I had to kind of just guess what I thought the breakdowns might be. Feeling Banana says, okay, I'll be honest, I didn't stick to the challenge. I stand guilty, Your Honor. I mean, that's okay. You came up with something incredible. You made an amazing animation out of it. How can I possibly complain?
Why am I getting? Why is my pumpkin head getting smashed?
Is that your problem with it, Doig?
Yeah.
But why am I getting smashed, though?
Why?
Because you're smashing, Doig.
I didn't do no wrong.
So yeah, I put this as the breakdown. And the reason I chose this as the breakdown is because from here down to here is a pretty straightforward motion, right? We have a little lean back for the anticipation. And then we're coming almost like straight down here. And then the next drawing... Oh!
We're being raided.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh, it's a raid!
Oh no!
Yo!
Quick!
Wow!
I'm gonna grab him. Oh, they got smushed.
Well, they were dispatched quickly. Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no! Oh no, they got...
Oh
Oh!
no!
Oh, this is exactly what was meant to happen. There we go.
welcome to the Animation Breakfast Club.
Yeah, welcome.
Whoa.
Thanks so much for the raid. Thanks for bombing our room. Jeez.
Dear.
Jeez. So aggressive.
We're in the middle of doing animation feedbacks on the challenge. Come on, let's go.
Let's go. Yeah, we're doing some animation feedback right now. We set a weekly challenge, and these are all the entries we got, and we're going through them. And if we have any critiques, we're giving them, but generally we're just screaming at how fun they are to watch. But yeah, I hope you had a good stream. How you doing? Let us know what you're working on and what you've been up to. So yeah, I was just saying, from here to here, feels like it's a pretty straightforward motion. And then from here, there's a spine reversal. So this is why I chose to put the breakdown here. It's because from here we're going into a spine reversal, so it feels like going from here to here could be seen as its own section of the motion. This expression is everything. This is an incredible drawing. And yeah, I would probably have this as a key pose. Like, we stick around in this pose long enough. There's like a whole bunch of stuff going on here. Like, to me, this is definitely a key. And the breakdown I would have to get there would be like, okay, you need to go down into this, and then from there, get up into that. So you can see how it kind of feels like a midpoint of the animation. Like, it describes how we're going to get from here into here. Because otherwise, you would probably just go straight off the floor immediately, right? But instead, we're going down first and then up. So yeah, look at this eyebrow! It's so powerful! I kind of just want to like have this as a profile picture or something. It's so good. It's so good.
I love the star shape erupting from the eye around.
Me too.
That's so good.
I love having my my feathers like flare out in a really spiky, pointy way when I'm mad, Ghibli style. I'm kind of like a super angry Alphys. I love it. Get my pointy little feet as well. This is the best. Fuck, and my tail. This is awesome. Okay.
We might need to
I gotta stop raving about the drawings.
Peeling Bananas. We might, if with your permission, we might need to take inspiration from that.
Yeah, if you're okay with us doing angry dinosaur face when I'm mad, because this face is incredible. I love the Jonan Vasquez tongue as well. Like zigzaggy tongue. And then from there, I thought maybe this could be potentially seen as a breakdown because we're coming down elbow first, so you're already dictating how the landing is going to go with this breakdown here. It could be considered another breakdown as it shows how you're going to get to the next key, as in elbows first is what I've written. So, and then you'll be going down to this pose. So from here to here, but hitting this on the way. You see. And then we get onto the second one, which is its own thing. Yes! So yeah, I'd probably call this like another key pose, getting up here. And then the breakdown could potentially be this. I'm not sure, it's kind of difficult to say. Trying to like reverse engineer where breakdowns are in another artist's work is kind of like reading a book and being like, oh, they probably wrote this part first, right? They probably planned this part first.
Yeah. I think as Peeling Bananas has revealed, they're like, I didn't really stick to the challenge.
Yeah, it's totally fair. See, and then this would be the other key. So I'd probably have like, this is a key. And then this is a key.
Yeah.
With maybe a breakdown in there somewhere between it. Probably this, so that we can get the drag on the hammer feeling nice. And then the whoop. I love how the legs retract here. I love this drawing so much. Look at this drawing. Look at this drawing. I'm just like, have a flat body and then my legs go at a right angle down. It's perfect. The expression too. Yeah, and then down into the key pose. And then you have coming out of it as well, which is really nice. You've done so much more than the challenge demanded of you. I love it.
They colored this as well.
Yeah, there's a coloured version of this. Do you want to link it into the chat?
Yeah, I'll go find it.
A spine reversal does sound like a badass wrestling move. Spine reversals are amazing. They can convey so much force. So yeah, a spine reversal is like this, where you see, if you were to draw like the line of action along the spine, it would be like this. And then you flip it the next frame to be like this. You don't want to go ham with it, but getting those spine reversals, especially when you are handling a lot of weight, can really help to show that, because we lift from the back, right?
Yeah, you should, or you're gonna damage. No,
yeah, you should be lifting from the back.
No, you should. Well, when you're lifting, you should be lifting from the legs. Don't lift from your back.
Oh, really? Well, you can't really do leg reversals without breaking them, so it's, it's difficult.
Animations don't have spine problems to worry about.
They have nice limber spine. It's good. Do you know what it says? From the legs, always the legs. Lift with the back in a jerking, twisting motion.
No.
Oh no.
Lift from your legos. Powerful.
But yeah, this is beautiful. And very appropriate for the month as well. And also very appropriate for Doigel's Halloween costume. Alright, hopping onwards.
And a pumpkin.
Oh no, I forgot to take the notes off again. Help! There we go. This is Martina's.
What was that?
What was it?
Bump.
Oh, whoa. Mooding Effects. Thank you so much for the subscription.
Ba-da-ba-ba.
Wow. Thank you. You sent us a present.
Yay!
It's gone to the sub zone
It's
now,
gone to the sub zone.
where we collect all our subs every month. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy your emotes and your sandwich now. You should have a sandwich now. All right. No comments from Martina, so let's just play it through and have a look-see. I like how we can see them both side by side in this one too. Super cool.
Yeah, good for comparing.
Yeah, and the motions are so different. It's good. You hop on, double bonk. Great job maintaining the proportions is something I've written because, yeah, like, that's something that I've noticed people sometimes struggle with. I think you've done a great job here of doing that. So, yeah. Here, again, I've separated out the anticipation. So, looking at the left-hand side animation here, I've suggested that this be perhaps another key drawing when we go into the anticipation. So we can go up into this afterwards. We can jump straight from this up. And I've made a suggestion that I think if you raise the hammer above the head here, you could make a really nice arc down here between the two. Because at the minute, the movement feels very up and down with not much curve. I think it would have a bit more force. If that's what you wanted, you might not want it to have force, but if you wanted force, I think it'd be great to have, like, really push the contrast between the hammer being up and down by moving it as far back as you can. Here. And then bringing it down in a big arc here. So the hammer would be more like this, probably. Because it would be travelling along the arc. So the arc would be invisible, but you would see it in your brain. See it in your mind's eye. Use your arc vision.
I'm seeing it.
Oh my gosh, look! It's a little duck.
Duck.
I didn't notice that the first time. The smoke turns into a duck. Duck! And then the duck's like... That's adorable. Help. That's so cute.
And the unexpected duck.
So so the breakdown is here, which makes sense if you're going from the anticipation up into this and then back down into the keys. I'd probably say that you could fill out the motion more and give it a few more ones, and it will make the motion feel a bit more fluid. But yeah, I like that you've gone for interesting poses a lot of the time, which is really cool. Like, going straight from being in the air to being on the floor is great. I would love to see, like, you land on the floor and then potentially really drag that hammerhead. So, like, the butt's on the floor, but the hammer's, like, still about to come down. It's almost like you're using the momentum of the butt slapping down onto the floor to, like, pull the hammer down. Like, I've got to do it. I'm pulling the hammer down. Look at this incredible drawing that I have done. It's very clear and very good. I should not be allowed near pencils.
Why not?
Because of this.
Oh god.
Oh
I
god.
just saw the mouth.
Oh god. Yeah. Take the spirit of what I'm doing, if not the drawing, because the drawing... Do not take the drawing. This is a bad drawing. But I think what it illustrates is... I think you'll need to shift the weight backwards there a little bit. See, I'm thinking about where the weight would be on this pose. And it would need to be, like, pretty far back for the bum to support itself. I hope somewhere Ula is, like... shaking in frustration his boots at how bad this drawing is.
Ula's in the chat, I think.
Yeah. Look at this, Ula. Well, look at this amazing drawing. But yeah, I think if you take the spirit of what I'm suggesting, to land with that hammer still potentially back a bit and then slam it down, I think could be really fun. I'm always thinking about what you could potentially delay in your animation to make it more interesting. And having your body land, but delaying the hammer super late could make a really fun, interesting animation. Because I haven't really seen it done before. Yo, what you got there, Doig?
Gift.
Dextrose Demon. You love this drawing. Do you really? Do you want me to print it out and send it to you, Ula? Because it's so good. It doesn't even have much movement. It's a very ugly drawing, so I'm sorry, Martina, but hopefully like the point still comes across. Thank you so much, Dextrose Demon. That's incredible of you.
Thank you.
I hope that you enjoy, and thank you for sending us to Subbox, which will go to the Subzone. We need like a Twilight Zone style intro for the Subzone.
The Subzone.
Could we do that? Do like a little voiceover where we're like, some say mysteries still dwell in the Subzone.
Yes, we can do anything.
That'd be great. We can do anything. Awesome job, Martina. And then the second one, I've written here that you wouldn't generally hold on a breakdown, so I might consider this breakdown as more of a key. You can still do it. Like, I'm giving you guys what I would do and the kind of basis of what the rules are, but rules are kind of meant to be bent and broken. So the main point to you guys learning the rules is also to learn when to subvert them. So anything I say isn't a hard and fast, like, you can or you can't do this. People don't generally hold on breakdowns, but you can do whatever the F you want. This is your animation. Like, you can, you know, no one's gonna, the animation police aren't gonna come and attack you. And plenty of innovation has been had from people using these rules in, like, fun and different ways. Like, for example, when I look at Japanese animation, it's really hard to know where the breakdowns are because they animate in a very different way. In Japanese animation, it's kind of like every drawing between a key is a breakdown.
Really?
Yeah, because a lot of the time they are all so interesting and all so important to the motion that aren't like really straight in betweens. Especially in action scenes. When there's like a lot of easing, it's the same as Western animation where you would use in-betweens to get there and use very tight spacing. But a lot of the time in anime, it almost feels like every in-between has the importance of a breakdown, which is pretty rad. So yeah, but I would say generally you wouldn't hold on a breakdown. So this hold here, I'd probably have it be more like, and I'm talking about the right hand animation now, you guys, if you're confused, I'm talking about the right hand side one. So generally you would see this hold here as being a key and then smashing down into this afterwards. But I think you could I think it would really work well as an in-between frame. As a breakdown frame. If you added maybe another frame between these two, where the foot is like still up, but the rest of the body is like coming down. So you might have this coming over, and the head coming down, and the foot's kind of dragging a little bit. So the foot's coming down, the butt's coming down, this leg is starting to bend more, and this is arcing over into that. So yeah, I hope those are helpful. Helpful tips! Great
Yo,
job!
that's awesome.
Great job, Martina. And thank you for including the tiny bird, which has brought me such joy. So we're hopping over to Marco Martel, where I have once again forgotten to turn the notes off. I just submit to it at this point.
It's okay.
I just submit to it.
I think it's nice to see that you've made notes in advance.
Yeah, well, I mean, it helped a lot last week as well, or the week before, with the critiques.
Yeah.
So let's have a look at Marco Martel's. Gabam. Gesploosh. And then this is the second one. So I think this is a really nice illustration again of two like very different feeling motions. with different in-between frames. So
Mhm.
great job. I did notice that. Boop-a-doop, let me pop on my notes. Yeah, nice to see the subtle differences in the motions. Nice job. So it's a great illustration of the breakdown and how that can make a difference. I would say, looking at the chart here, I do think that the chart maybe isn't quite there. I tried to follow along with it, but had a few issues. So I did what I would do the chart as, and hope that it kind of helps in the understanding of how to chart animation out a bit. So I noticed that on your chart here, you go from 1 to 7, but there are actually 11 frames in this animation. And I know this because I counted through them. So it would make it very obvious to you, like, where each thing on the chart lies when you go back through it. So yeah. And to get the spacing for this, I basically tracked this hand and just looked at where the hand was. So this is kind of based on the hand position, which is leading the general hammer position. So you can see that on frame 3, it's very close spacing wise, and then the spacing is a little wider on the next one. And then we get some nice wide spacing here between frames 7 and 9. And then 11 is where we end the animation. So this is how I'd show the holds that you've done. So we have our key up here on frame 1, and then on frame 3 the drawing changes. So we know that frame 2 is a hold of frame 1. You see? Same thing with the drawing changing again on frame 7. We know that from frame 3 to 7, 3 is going to be held. So that's how I would chart this out. And then the big movement happens between 7 and 9 and 9 and 11. Where we have this big movement here and this big movement here. I'd say the movement from 9 to 11 is a little bit wider in terms of the spacing, so I've tried to reflect that on the chart as well. So I think this is what the chart would actually look like. So hopefully that helps you in figuring out how you would chart your animation. And yeah, so the breakdown I think isn't marked here, so I took another guess. I really like how you're dragging the hammerhead here. That's really nice. How you can see the hands going up, but the head of the hammer is rotating backwards instead. That's some lovely overlap. Like, you obviously have like a nice sense of the motion, which is cool. I think it would be nice to emphasize that arc a little bit. I think this is one of the places where it might be nice to have some smear frames to really fill in the gap between this and this, and really just show, okay, it's come over in this kind of motion. Just because you don't have the visual information there between the frames, because we're going straight from this to this, providing the visual information by pushing it into frame 9 as well, which is generally what smears do, is not only just to simulate camera blur, but also to fill in information that you don't have the frame space for. Like, you don't have the drawings to be able to spend on it. You can put more information than you usually would to compensate for it. So you don't necessarily need an in-between between these two if you add extra information to denote the arc in this frame. If that makes sense. And same here, like, it might be really nice to have like just a frame of smear here before we get the key proper. So yeah, very nice work. And then here I've done the same thing. So again, this chart was a little bit hard to follow. You have 11 frames denoted here in the chart, whereas I could only count 9 in the animation itself. So going through it, I've done a weird thing, hold on. What is this? There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then that's the last drawing. So, same here. I've just counted through them so you can see where everything is. And then the spacing here, I noticed that from frame 9 to 11 here, on the last part of the animation, you have the widest spacing in the animation. But that doesn't actually hold true for the animation that you've done. So if you look here, the last 2 frames are super close together. So the hammer's in roughly the same place, the body's in roughly the same place, the spacing here is super tight. So the chart would be much more like this, where we have a big gap from frames 5 to frame 7. You see that huge spacing gap. But then from 7 to 9, the gap is actually pretty small. So I've reflected that here, where we have this kind of ease in, and then this big gap in spacing between 5 and 7, and then 7 is much closer to 9. So yeah. And then in terms of the actual animation itself and the breakdowns, yeah, I really like the way that the butt leads here. Super fun. And then same as, who was it? I mentioned this earlier in someone else's feedback. Careful not to lean on the smear too much.
That was in animes, I think.
Yeah, when you're denoting the entire long motion trail with the smear, I think that you may be leaning on it too much when it gets to the point where you're covering a huge amount of space with it.
Mm-hmm.
You want smears to be like the icing on top rather than
the cake.
The entire cake. But it does feel nice and powerful. Like the spacing of having this, like, these tightly spaced drawings at the beginning and then having this huge spacing here does feel really good. Like, there's a nice sense of weight there. So great job. I hope you had a good time and enjoyed it. Yeah. Good job, Marco Martel. And then hopping over to @Uranza. Would you like to read out @Uranza's?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So they said, "Hi, this is my first time animating something other than a bouncing ball, etc. So it's pretty scary and exciting. I think the first one is very basic, but works. For the second one, I realized after the fact that my breakdown might actually be a new key / extreme, but decided to keep it as is. That's something I'm not very confident about. For the third one, I wanted to do a hammer spinny, so I drew a random squiggle and tried to follow that as my arc for the hammer, so the movement doesn't make a ton of sense. Overall, I know there's some basic mistakes I could have fixed. I was way over time anyway, but I had a lot of fun. Thank you for doing this."
Aw, you're super welcome. And yeah, you guys heard right. We have not 1, not 2, but 3 hammer swings.
3? A tri-hammer.
So awesome job, Uranza. You went above and beyond on this challenge. Look at these. They're so fun.
Yo, thank you for the gift sub. Well, not the gift sub, just the sub. The sub. Thank you.
Yeah, it's awesome to have you taking the challenge, so thank you very much for being here. And you say this is your first time animating something other than a bouncing ball. I think this shows that you have a real feel for animation. Like, I think you're gonna, be able to make some really cool stuff going ahead from this. Because from bouncing ball to this is a huge leap. So congratulations. So yeah.
Good job.
Let's watch it one more time. Just so it goes by pretty fast. There we go. Nice. All right. On to the notes. Awesome work. It's an important note. So yeah, here again, I've separated out the anticipation. So I've written that it could be another key or another breakdown here. And then, yeah, you've marked here what your breakdown is, which is awesome. Thank you very much for marking it, even though I forgot to ask you guys to mark it. Yeah. And then we see that the peg depresses slowly into the ground here. So if you wanted to get more force into it, you could have that peg go right the way down straight off. and that would denote much more force. Or if you wanted to have it so that I'm actually very weak and I can't really get the peg down very well, you could have this actually rebound. So you could have the hit and then have this rebound upwards before it settles back down. And these are advanced animation terms, but if you put like a stagger as this is pushing down, it'd make it feel like I'm really trying to push it down super hard. I'm like, eh. If you want to learn how to do a stagger, let me know. It's very simple, but I love staggers. They make such great effect. Like in fight scenes, they're so useful. Whenever your character's trying to like push or pull anything heavy, they're so useful. But yeah, great stuff. And then number 2, look at this posing. It's so fun. I love this. The like just goes straight up into the air. So yeah, I've written here you were right. I would say that this is probably its own key, because it's such a definitive movement, and we hold in it too, and then ease out of it. So it really feels like this would be one movement here, or one chart from key to key. And then from this key, you would ease out into your breakdown. So I'd say that from here to here, with this as your breakdown, would be your key to key movement, with the anticipation being its own thing. But yeah, nice. Again, this is one where I'd love to see more. I'd love to see either more frames filling in the arc here, so the arc's a little bit easier to see, or I'd love to see you utilize a little bit of smearing just to show us that would have like a nice smooth arc over. Like the fewer drawings you have, the harder it is to show to show an arc, and the more it feels like something is going straight from point A to point B. You know? So you wouldn't do it like this, but this is the kind of arc you would want to denote. You'd probably do it more like this kind of dealio.
Bum.
And then the last one, the final one. This goes places. I love that you wrote that you basically did a squiggle and then used that to follow the path of that with the hammer. That's really cool. Like, I love experimentation like that. It's so fun. And it means that you're pushing yourself with your posing too. You're having to rotate it in ways that you maybe wouldn't usually, especially with the keys I gave you, which were very flat on.
Yeah.
Like, there really wasn't much dimensionality to the frames I gave you. There wasn't much perspective or anything going on. And here you're having to like put the hammer in perspective and twizzle around. So I love that kind of thing. Yeah, wow. There I go. It's so beautiful. Yeah, for this squash here, this is not to do with the breakdown, but I just thought I'd call it out because I think it'll help you in the future. It feels like we're losing some of the mass here between this frame and this frame. So I would squash myself out more. So you make sure that as I'm being pushed down and squashing, I'm like squashing outwards as well as down. Think about it like a rubber ball that you're pushing your palm down on. And how, because the ball isn't losing mass, as you're pushing it down, it's kind of bulging out on the sides and becoming wider because you're displacing the mass of it basically with your hand. It's the same here. Is if you're pushing it down, imagine it like you're pushing your palm down on it like a rubber ball. You want it to push outwards on the side. And then I love that you have this tail follow through. This is super nice too. Like lots of nice little additional things that you're doing here that I think show that you would really have the hang of animation. If you keep going with it, I think you'll do super well. Like it's nice to see this little punctuation of bump up as well.
Yeah, that's real cool.
Yeah, nice little punctuation. I've done a few suggestion let me put hold on. There we are. I've done a little suggestion for the tail, where I think because you are having it follow the motion up here, it would make more sense to have it start in a down position and then ease up, rather than to have it already up, and then for the middle part to go more up and the bottom part to drag down. So I've just simplified it a little bit, and I think that will work a little bit better. The motion coming down with the tail is pretty perfect. So yeah, I think this motion is super fun, but you're right that it definitely, like, again, it's probably too complex to have one breakdown. This would be another motion where you would have like several different keys and probably several different breakdowns if you were going to like plan this out before you started working. You would be able to hand someone this, hand someone that, and one frame in the middle, and have them know what to do with all this.
That's a good description of the challenge, I think.
What is now?
If you would hand someone 3 drawings, like the key and the breakdown, would they know what you meant?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. But you have successfully used the breakdown here on the first one, and on the second one as well. So, great job. And thank you very much for taking part in the challenge, Evanza.
Thank you.
Hope you had a good time.
I'm learning a lot. I'm listening mostly today, but I'm learning.
Hey, Habbo, we're talking about breakdowns today. Breakdown! A breakdown! Dexterous Demon! I saw you in chat.
I saw them.
If this is the one I think it is, let's see. Are you guys ready? Oh wait, we have to read the notes. So,
want me to read it?
Sure.
Keeping on model, coming up with poses for breakdowns. I think the question is, let us know what you feel like you learned or what you struggled with. Take it away, Swifty.
Okay, here we go. Yeah. So I love this. Like, again, you guys all did such different stuff with the poses. It's really fun to look at and really fun to watch.
Yo, whoa, that's cool.
So yeah. So you'll know what I'm going to say by this point, right? When we go into this, and we have this little overshoot and wobble, like lovely animation, by the way, nice settle here. I'd say this is definitely another key that you're going into here.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than a breakdown. Because this really defines, like, what the motion is going to be between this and this. This is one whole movement between 2 keys. And then your breakdown is going to be something on the way between these 2 things that really helps you define the spacing. You know, if you need a breakdown at all, because on very simple motions you might not. But it depends what you want to do with it, you know.
I feel like the spacing on that first arc is really nice.
Let me play it through.
Would you say?
Yeah, that's lovely. Yeah. Looking at it again, I totally see what you mean. It's got very nice spacing, like very clear arc going on. Lovely stuff. Really nice. This little anticipation is very nicely done too. So I guess if I were to put a breakdown here, you could potentially make it the anticipation. You know? This could be your breakdown. Let me put my notes on. Ba ba da ba ba ba. This could very easily be your breakdown, with this being your first key, breaking down to this, and then getting to this being the next key. I also called this out as potentially being breakdown material, but I think in retrospect maybe because the arc here is so clean and just makes sense, I don't think you necessarily need a breakdown here unless you're doing anything like unexpected that you would need to let people know about. So I think having the breakdown be the anticipation makes more sense, because you would want to make sure that whoever's in betweening knows that you want like this part of the animation to be an anticipation.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so this little settle here into the key. I've written, I think you intended this to be the breakdown, but since you settle into a hole, it's more of a key. Probably the frame marked star would be more considered a breakdown. Or, as I was saying, the anticipation potentially. And then, slowly push it down. Slowly push it down. So yeah, again, like this would be a key, and then this would be a key. And then again, between this, I'd say this looks like it's pretty straight in between. Like, as in, it's pretty evenly spaced. I think, between this drawing and that drawing. I think it's evenly spaced and probably doesn't really need a breakdown, because it really feels like you're just going from A to B without needing like a detour in the middle. And then again, I'd say because we hold here, this anticipation here would be another key probably.
It's like you've given a deceptively limiting challenge with the like put one breakdown thing.
I kind of love it, because it's like people could have taken it easy on this challenge and everyone has gone so hard.
Gone wild.
So yeah, so I'd say this would definitely be like, wow, here I go. This would definitely be like a breakdown. You could have this as a breakdown for sure. And then, ba-bam! Lovely reverberations there on the hands. Really nice. Makes you really feel the force there. The only thing that I would give you notes on with this, because I think the breakdown here is like something which is nice and clear that you could easily chart your way into. You know? So I'm not going to count the drawings, but here, for example, my chart would probably be from the anticipation, you would like jump up into the breakdown, which would be like here-ish, and then like straight down into this hammer key, and you would have like a different chart for the reverberations. So I'm not going to count numbers, but it'd probably be something like, oh, we're easing out into the breakdown, and then just like a ball bounce, we're like holding in that for a little bit, and then coming out, or moving, holding into it. We're easing into it and easing out of it. And then down into the hammer smash with the large spacing. You know, I could see being able to chart that out very easily. The only thing that I would say that I have a note on is that I think the physics here is a little bit wonky, just in terms of the jump backwards and then jumping forwards. It'd be really hard to jump backwards in space with a hammer and then magneto your way back forward again, like hover your way back forward again. So I'd say you could maybe jump more straight up and have the hammer really be the thing that is going backwards with your hands attached to it. Might feel a little bit more believable, is what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. And I've put that I'd love to see more drag on the arms here as well. Since we're going so far back with the hammer here, it'd be really nice to have the hammer like delayed further to really provide a contrast in the spacing between different parts of the character.
Like the force up of the hammer, it's going to keep wanting to go. So when the person holding it pulls it down, it's still pulling away from them, and that causes that stretch. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like the force of the hammer is still trying to travel screen right as your character's coming down. And plus, the larger the spacing between this frame and the peg that we're going to hit, the faster the motion will feel and the more force it will feel like it has coming down.
Force equals mass times acceleration.
Sure. Mathematics.
Physics.
So yeah, great job, Dexterous Demon. I hope that was helpful.
What are you talking about, Habo? You call me a nerd? This is what? Habo called me a nerd.
You are a nerd,
Okay.
but that's okay. Nerds are cool. And so are you. So moving on, we have Onster. Onster has done an animation. What?
Onster.
Do you want to read out what she said?
Yes. Onster says, it was really fun to figure out ways to make the movement feel faster or slower. I'm real new to animating things, but once I got into it, it was fun to experiment with how things felt. I think I struggled with keeping shapes consistent with the speed while seeing how I could exaggerate them, as well as how to properly cushion fast movements to get the weight down. Also, I unexpectedly had some video exporting troubles. Haha.
No, video exporting troubles suck. I'm sorry. Let's have a look. It balked itself. Let's try again. Here we go. Yeah. I love that second one so much. Like, they're both great, but the open mouth really makes it.
Is it playing audio?
Yeah, there is a little bit of audio.
Okay.
Extra audio, what? I love on the first... the first little movement here. Because the hand goes, like, down the... it goes down the handle of the hammer. And then comes back. It almost feels like I'm cocking a gun. Like, I'm like... yeah, I'm like... loading my hammer before I swing it. So yeah, let me pop the notes on. I'm sorry that you had export troubles, that sucks. And yeah, so here, you started a little bit before the key. With the key being here. So I'd say your start drawing is pretty much always going to be a key, pretty much. There are a few exceptions. But like, as a general rule of thumb, just in general, whatever frame you have first is going to be a key. There's always exceptions to every rule, like. And then we go into this pose, this anticipation pose with the leg up, which I love. Like, lovely flow of action there with the line of action. Like, real nice, clear. I would say that because we're going into a held pose, I'd just call this a key. Just say that it's a key. And then from there, this is the swinging motion that we're going into. So again, I'm sorry I didn't ask people to label breakdown, so I've had to kind of guess which ones are which. And I kind of tried out the motion for myself too, just to kind of check what was going on with it. Because what happens is the key here, the second key that I've given you, is kind of more like an overshoot, because you hit it and then you bounce back. But the bounce back is only one frame, so I was kind of trying to figure out, like, do I want to end the chart with the bounce back? Or do I want to end the chart with the extreme and then have the bounce back be its own key after that? And I think I ended up ending my kind of the chart I was doing to help myself figure out where the breakdown might be. I decided to end it on the overshoot. So going straight from this to this is kind of what I charted out. So you could have the breakdown here. And then you can see that this is like quite a small distance traveled between this and the breakdown. And then we have this huge spacing gap here. Whoop! And then we're into our overshoot frame. Just there. And then the bounce back would be an extra frame, like an extra key that happens after that. So if I was to give you something that I think would help the animation, is I just would love to see a few more frames in between those, because the spacing gap's so large. So I'd love to see an in between here. That'd be super awesome.
I found something.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, what have you got there?
Got a subscription.
Yo, thank you so much. Who's subscribed?
Thunder Darcy says, "How are the virtual animated puppet entertainers?"
Oh,
Hey!
yo! Hey! Thank you so much for the subscription. Yeah, us vape casters, we're doing pretty good over here, you know?
Doing all right.
Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy your sandwich and your emotes. Lovely posing on stuff. And yeah, really enjoying, like, the motion looks like it's really nice too. I'd love to see it just fleshed out a little bit more, like 1 or 2 more frames here and there just to flesh it out would be amazing. And then here, we're going we're going backwards, and the mouth is, I love this one so much. There's like just such a manic energy about it that I think you've really captured super well. So again, we're going into a hold here. So I might be tempted to have like this as another key, potentially, since we're going backwards into it. And this is like an overshoot, you see, because we kind of go back and then bounce backwards into the key position. So this could very easily be a breakdown or just an overshoot that you label. And then we're going over. We're going over and smashing the peg in the ground. Yeah, lovely stuff. So in terms of the breakdown for this, I guess this would probably be considered the breakdown. Like if you were going to go from this to this, like that, then probably, yeah, this would be considered the breakdown. Because it kind of defines what the, like, how the motion's going to play out between these two keys. You see? So yeah, great job. I also like that you're starting to use smears. That's super fun. Smears are very fun. You're going to have a lot of good times learning how to use those, I can tell you.
Yeah, smears are like an animation representation of motion blur when like things are moving so fast that the camera on the exposure, boom, doesn't catch an object when it's kind of when it's not still, when it's moving. And then you can have a lot of creative interpretations about how to visually show that shape.
Yeah. I would say the note that I have here, I think what I meant by just this arc is that when you do your smears, if you keep them going along the path the animation's traveling on, then that really helps. So we talk about arcs a lot, because the direction of your smear here, or your speed lines as they are going like straight up here, and then they're continuing to go straight up here, and then they're continuing to go straight up here. I'm getting the feeling that the arc is going to be more like a straight line and then down.
Yeah.
You know?
Like imagine your camera was capturing it faster than 24 frames and it was actually 48 frames per second. Or maybe even faster, like 96 or 200. If you had all those frames in between and you like stuck them all together, what would the overall shape be? And that kind of informs what on one frame it would be capturing. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So what you probably want for a hammer swing like this is more of a smooth arc over. Because our body basically works on hinges, so a lot of the motions we do, we can't help but give them an arc or a curve. Like if you stick your arm out and move it up and down, it's moving on a semicircle because you're hinging from one place.
Mm-hmm.
You can't go straight up and down without somehow growing your arm to be longer and shorter between things. So this is my example. Look at his hand. If you're going to keep the hand the same length, then it's got to be an arc like this. Because if you want to go straight up and down, you kind of have to suddenly make your arm longer to get there.
Yeah.
You see, I made the arm on the bottom too short even. It would need to be even longer to go straight up and down.
Which you could do if you're doing a purposefully stretched one,
Yeah.
but it would still follow an arc.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of reasons why you might not want things to follow arcs as well. Like when you're animating stuff like robotics, or something that you want to feel very inorganic, or a character that moves very precisely, where you deliberately want to eliminate arcs from their physical repertoire or their physical acting to make them feel more direct. And you might even want, like this hammer, you might want this to go in a triangle and not have an arc, and that's totally cool. But I think you would need to, if you were going to do it in like a straight triangle, you would then need to show the angle change very clearly here. Like you'd probably need another frame where we see it start to go down, like in a straight line towards this.
Yeah.
As it is, we're so used to seeing hammers in arcs because they're more like pendulums, that I get the impression probably you would want to go for an arc instead, and you were probably intending to go for an arc instead. In which case, the speed lines here and the camera smear that you've got going on, you're going to want it to follow this arc, so that you're implying the movement. So you would have the hammerhead like this. Oh, I forgot that I can do this. Oh, so much easier to see.
On my screen, it just went completely black and left your notes for a split second there.
Whoops.
Like it was trying to figure out what you just done.
And you would instead have it doing this kind of thing. So you would have your smears travel along this, and then likewise in the next, you would have the implication of the end of that arc. So please excuse my shoddy drawing here. But yeah, in general, you want to keep it moving along the motion path that your object is taking.
This has all been super informative. Thank you both for taking time to do this :
Oh, you're super welcome.
You're welcome.
Basically, people who are watching your animation are only going to see what you show them. So if you're not showing too much of what the arc of an emotion is, using every tool you have at your disposal, like your smear frames, to give them extra information about that arc and about the movement, it's going to make your animation that much easier to follow for the viewer. So you just want to be like, hey viewers, this thing's moving really fast. So it's got like, you know, it's leaving a camera blur, but also it's moving on this trajectory, and that's why the camera blurs in this direction. And it's just going to make it feel a little bit more readable. And make the motion feel a little bit more fluid as well.
I did it.
I'm frustrated about the fact that I can't draw these motion trails very well. It's frustrating me, but I also know that I should probably move on, because you probably got the point I was making, even if the drawing isn't very good. So I believe Onster can make a beautiful drawing of this, so I'm going to stop balking it up. But yeah, so you want this to kind of follow that motion path. Let me turn this off. Yeah. Yeah! I just love this frame so much. Yeah, these poses are so fun to watch. Little legs sticking out.
These little Legos.
I love that you have the legs start to go down before the hammer really starts to come back much. That's great, because what it implies to me is that the leg's going to come down, and I'm going to use that weight and momentum to bring my body forward and swing the hammer. So that's just great body physics there.
Thank you for the bits.
I think you could lean into that a little bit more. Yeah, great. Great stuff. I hope you had fun with it, Onster. And it's great to see you in the Anime Morning Challenges. Whoa!
Woo!
Yeah. Alright, hopping onwards. We are on to Celsior!
Yay, got notes to read. Okay, they said, for the first breakdown, I struggled quite a bit with the in-betweening from getting the jump to the end position. It just didn't seem like it was possible to connect the two, and getting a reference seemed impossible because of how cartoonish the movement was. The challenge did help me realize how a single frame can really alter the feel of a movement though. Yeah.
Let's have a look-see.
You got
Here
your,
we go. Sorry, what was it?
I was just going to say you got your notes off.
Yes, I do.
Cool.
So, yeah, straight off the bat, love how dynamic these poses are.
Yeah.
Like, great stuff. Like, really nice, dynamic action poses going on. Yeah, as to your... it's not so much a question, but as to your comment about it doesn't seem possible to connect the two, getting from the jump to the end position, you can do it. You can always do it in animation. In animation, anything is possible. So let's see. Let's have a look. So this is our key. And then I'm assuming this is our breakdown that we're jumping up into here. I've drawn on here the peg a couple more times, because I just think when you're doing a jumping pose like this, keeping the peg on the ground keeps the action grounded, and helps the viewer see like what's happening.
Mhm.
So for example, if I turn my notes off, when the peg disappears, it feels like I could be jumping so far up, so high, that the peg's travelled off screen. And then
Yeah.
this could be happening in the air rather than connecting with the ground. And then I could be back on the ground here. Let me show you. In fact, let me show you. I will show you exactly what I mean. Look how different it is if I do this. I need a red.
Deleting notes.
Yeah, deleting those. What?
I'm going to sit next to you. I hope you're all making notes at home.
These are clouds, by the way.
Oh,
Don't at me. These are clouds.
I hope you're all got your jotters out and
No
you're
one's
all
allowed to shame
making
me.
your binary notes. I hope you're all like doing a big learn. You're not taking notes, Darkvault. How? What?
Oh my gosh! I can't believe it. You would not take notes even though these notes are saved for you online and you can see them anytime? Redonkulous.
But taking your own notes helps you internalize and digest the information in your own way. Yeah, the test is this Thursday.
Okay, so here you go. So I've filled in a different background now. And you can see how you could totally feel like this is going up off screen and up into the sky and then coming down here and landing there.
Did you put rain?
No, they're like very rudimentary speed lines to give you just the impression of like
Oh, okay.
this would be the direction of the movement. Like you could totally see it as being that if you didn't have the visual information of that peg being continually on screen.
I was totally trying to work out whether
Oh.
or not you added rain. Ah, ha, 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 ha.
So yeah, it's like very important to understanding the motion. Essentially, that we have these waypoints. Let me put hold on so you can see it properly.
Did you get my joke?
Yes, I did. It was very good.
Thank you.
Yeah. So if that's on there, then again the movement's completely different. Then we get the context of this person's jumping, and we can see the peg all the time, so we know how high they're jumping, and we know that this frame is connecting with the floor. So just having a floor plane in there like makes a huge difference to how the animation is going to be read, and it makes a huge difference to like giving notes on it too, because whether I'm giving notes on a motion which is still traveling through the air, or whether I'm giving notes on an animation where the hammer's meant to be connecting with the ground, are two very, very different things,
Yeah.
and it would affect like how I would choose to try and help out a little bit.
Yeah, that pin in the ground is your anchor point.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll just write anchor anim with peg. Which is what people use peg bars for as well, to anchor their animations. Oh my gosh.
I got it, the joke.
So yeah, I would say this is probably your breakdown, right? Boop. And then this is probably another key. And we would go straight from this to that. But hit this in the middle, right?
Yeah.
That makes sense. And then from here, this whole cell would be its own thing. Probably. And then likewise here. I'm assuming that this would be your breakdown. And then down into that. Which makes sense to me, because going from this to this is very different from going from this to this to this. So yeah, I think that makes sense as being the breakdown. A lot of people have used the breakdowns as anticipations, which is totally something you can do. I'd say just use what feels right to you, whether you want to label it as a breakdown or whether you think you need to separate out and just make it a key instead. But yeah, got a smear going on here. Again, just try and make sure those smears are definitely like following a nice motion path. So for this hammer, you're probably going to want an even bigger arc going on. Probably more like this kind of thing.
Are you? I would have suggested that you draw in a different color than red, just for this to be really clear.
Oh, would you? Hold on. That would be a great idea. But here, let me do this.
Or do that. That works too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me do this. Yeah. I'd probably say you don't necessarily need the smear on the head. But if you want to have it, I might like make it a little bit shorter. And yeah, the hammer smear, because the hammer's going to go all the way over like this, right? It's going to have like a huge arc.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind when you're doing the smear for it. That you're probably not going to want an arc like this. Because that implies either that the hammer's being swung around like sideways, almost like this, rather than straight over. Or it implies that the hammer's like shrinking on its way over.
Oh, I see.
So yeah, having a nice, if you're going to do it in profile and have it swing over the head, having like a huge, nice wide arc, I think is going to really help out. Again, it's very tough to get from this frame to this frame, but it is doable. Don't lean on your smears too much, but make sure you imply that nice circular overarching rainbow of motion.
I really like the term rainbow of motion.
Rainbow of motion.
It's coming for you.
Rainbow of motion.
It's gonna do things.
Yeah. I like how ominous that ended up. Oompa.
I wonder if there's ever been like a trailer edit of Rambo where someone has just like replaced everything with sparkles and rainbows.
And called it rainbow
Yeah, I call it rainbow.
instead. I'd love that.
Do you say rainbow or rainbow?
What's the difference?
An N or an M?
Rainbow. Who would say rainbow?
I think I say rainbow.
Rainbow.
I think I say rain.
Rainbow.
Yeah.
Rainbow.
Just when I was saying
I mean,
the
it's-
word there, I realized.
They sound super similar to me.
Yeah, rainbow, rainbow. I think I say mbo because it's easier.
Bob.
Mbo.
Thank you very much, Celsior, for submitting, and I hope that you had fun doing it. And now we come to the final animation.
Oh, I got a thing to read. Look at that big old paragraph right there. I got that to read. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Ah, I thought a backflip was a good idea, but I ended up redrawing some of it at least 3 times, and I ended up making this well over 3 hours. Whoops, sorry. Before realizing what the recommended time was, and by then I had done too much to not finish it. The first breakdown, I animated it, keyframe to keyframe. And which I'm guessing is why I ended up redrawing some of it due to unwanted jitteriness.
Keyframe to keyframe. I think what you probably mean is straight ahead. Which is when, rather than going, I'm going to do key 1, and then I'm going to do frame 10, which is key 2, and then I'm going to hit my breakdown, which is frame 5. You go, okay, I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and just do them in order.
The second breakdown, I tried to make a few rough keyframes, which helped at first, but got into it, and ended up doing it keyframe to keyframe again. Also made it more simple and spent a lot less time on it than the first, which helped. For my second try at animating, I think it ended up okay. Overall, enjoyed the challenge, apart from redrawing parts. Sticky out tongue face. Felt like I couldn't get the timing right in both breakdowns and seemed to happen too fast to me at 24 frames per second and too slow at 12 frames per second.
Maybe you're an 18 frames per second kind of person.
Learned that different movements can be used in between keyframes to convey different effects. Sorry for the long paragraph.
I love long paragraph.
By the way, couldn't upload more than 1 file, and I made it both passes in 2 separate files, into 2 MP4 files. Not sure if I done this right or not, but I managed to transfer the keyframes over into 1 file.
Not sure if I'd done this right is how I feel most of the time about life. Yeah.
Sorry for the dramatic reading.
No, I love it. Yeah, I mean, for this exercise, you shouldn't have to draw any keyframes apart from the ones I've given you. So let's see what happens. I feel like maybe something unexpected might happen. I don't know. Let me show you guys this. This had me in stitches of mirth yesterday.
Mirth.
Whoop! I'm gone! I'm back! Here I go! Oh my gosh, I love these so much. These are so fun, Snowtwig. Jeez, I was laughing so hard when I just started like backflipping backwards off screen. I was not expecting that at all.
Is that a ring?
Yeah, I think it is.
Ding.
But yeah, I was so not expecting it. I was like howling in laughter yesterday when I was seeing it for the first time. So you say this is your second time animating? Or do you mean your second try at animating the motion? Because I definitely think if this is your second go at animating at all, then you've done an incredible job. I'm assuming that you mean second try at animating the motion.
Yeah, I think it's second try. Wait. Second time animating. Wait, is Silent Assassin the same? Let me just there's a thing.
Oh yeah, Silent Assassin, is this you? Silent Assassin, are you Snowtwig? Yes, you. Awesome. Second time animating ever, or second time animating this motion? Ever! Jeez, oh Silent Assassin, then you did an incredible job. You kidding me? You've got a real feel for it. Like, you're gonna make some real cool stuff. I tell you. Like, you've got great instincts already. So you've added an anticipation here. Like, I'm just gonna ignore the breakdown feedback for a second, just to like highlight what you're doing really well here. So yeah, we've got like a nice anticipation, which you know that you need. Then you're keeping things on nice arcs. This slow down into an ease is really nice. And then this motion, the timing on it is really nice. The way that you have large spacing here going up into the crest of the motion. And then it speeds up as I'm landing. Like, super nice. And one of the parts which I really like is how I anticipate and do this little hop. here.
That is awesome.
That's the kind of thing that you're only gonna get and remember to do if you are really feeling the motion in your own body. Like if you understand kind of how physics works and how gymnastics works, where you're not going to be able to just go straight over. You need to get that extra momentum by giving yourself a push off. I would love to see you hover around this, frame it a little bit more to really sell the weight of that hammer trying to continue to go screen right as it's being pulled down screen left instead, and kind of linger there with the spacing to get that weight before you slam it down. But yeah, you should be very, very proud and happy of what you've done so far. And I'm sure you're going to make some really awesome stuff going forward. Heck yeah. A lot of research over years watching reading. Well, it's paid off because you're coming into it with a skill set that you're going to need. And a skill set that's already pretty developed. So that's great. Like, it's going to set you up to do like more stuff faster. And then we have this one. Into a Sonic Spin Dash! What? I'm just going to put the notes on now because I have a few notes where I'm just like enjoying this. So yeah, this made me laugh so much. Amazing job. We get to the Sonic Spin Dash. I'm like, it's a Sonic Spin Dash, yo! Holy guacamole! So good. And then out of that, again, it would be lovely to see like a bit more hang time here. I'm going to put a little note. Hang time. Plus. That'd be great. And then slam down onto this.
I feel like I want to have a bigger frame for that motion. Like it hits the top of the canvas and tangents with that a little bit. I feel like it would be cool if the camera pulled out for that and then like zoomed back in for the impact. That's just me.
Or followed it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can either do camera movement using whatever program you have, or you can imply camera movement by moving the background, like animating that slightly to imply that the camera is shifting up.
Yeah, I'm not saying Snow Twig should have or like done that. It's just when I see this, that's the feeling I get of what I would want to do with it.
Look, it's a rank.
Doo-doo.
I love it. Super cool. Okay, so let's see. So I did a little chart of the movement, and again here I've done it so that the breakdown is the anticipation, just because I think the rest of the motion is pretty straightforward, but I did want to try it out just because I really like how you have eased into this key. So your chart would probably look something like this, where we have the breakdown pretty close to the first frame, and then the spacing gets progressively bigger as the swing starts coming forward, and then we ease into this last position here. I just think sometimes drawing things in charts makes it a little bit clearer what's going on with the spacing.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that you have eased in here. Super nice. So that's probably where I'd put the breakdown for this motion. I didn't try to break down the rest of this, because as you can probably anticipate, from here we're getting into a bunch more keys and a bunch more breakdowns. And really the task was only to do a simple motion with one breakdown in the middle that varies between the two.
Yeah.
So I'd say if I was taking this, I'd probably say you could have the breakdown being this backwards anticipation here. And then the rest of this spacing would just be denoted in you showing the in the chart that the spacing is getting progressively smaller as the swing comes down. So that'll be antic, and then that will be swing. And then this is the ease.
Where's the jazz?
Where's the jazz? This entire thing is jazz. Are you
Okay.
kidding me? But yeah, when we get to this point, backflipping backwards, I'm like, okay, no, I'm not I'm not keep framing out this. This is complex. But yeah, like I love the motion that you decided to do. I love how unexpected it is. It really made me laugh. Had such fun watching it. That little hop's really nice, like I said. And I put a little note here about how I would love to have a bit more hang time and drag there on the hammer to really sell that. So yeah, the second motion, I would probably have this be another key. This anticipation, because it's so different from the rest of the motion that I'd just be like, okay, this is the key that we're going to work from. And then, honestly, I'd probably have the spin dash be another key because we hold in it so long. It's like, it's not a breakdown on the way to the next key.
Mm-hmm.
It's its own kind of movement in the middle where it needs to have its own cycle of frames and its own holds and stuff. It's more a destination than, you know, a route to get there.
I just want to call out Forever Mash saying, I'm thoroughly enjoying the analysis of these animations. Even as a non-animator, I feel I'm getting something out of it.
Oh, that's incredible.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you so much for saying that. That's honestly really nice to hear. So then, yeah, I've put a key at the end of this. As you can see me starting to come out of it, you can see my little... you can see my head. Just here. As I'm starting to come out of it. This is my body. And then key 5, we're coming into this. It probably actually this would be key 5. I've got to be honest. I think I got that wrong. I think this would be more like key 5. So let me just label it as such. And delete this so that I don't confuse you. Yeah. So then, oh my gosh. There we go. So this would be key 5. And then, yeah, the breakdown would be potentially this. Honestly, at this point, there's not much point having a breakdown between these two keys because there's only one frame between the two keys. So it's more just an in-between than anything else. But yeah, essentially the motion is so complex that it's hard to look at it and select one breakdown. It's a motion that would require like a bunch of different keys and a bunch of different planning to do. But I love it. I love how ambitious you've been, and I think it works super well. I hope that it's been helping you to think about what breakdowns could be and what they could mean for the animation. I might do another breakdown challenge in the future with you guys to just like check that everyone is on board with them and comfortable with using them. Yeah, the smiley face in the ring. I was just like, rang! Yay!
Yeah.
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 So yeah, like essentially breakdowns, you can keep them pretty simple. You know? You got a hammer. You got a hammer. Like the breakdown between these things could be like anything, but it really just has to be something which is on the road between these two keys to like describe how the motion's going to happen. So having it go even further back is going to give a different motion than if you were to just go straight over instead. And that's really just the crux of it, is you were just in between straight from one to the other, but hitting this destination point in the middle changes how the motion plays out and what it looks like. You know, because in the simplest terms, between this and this, you would probably be like, okay, well,
Thank you for the subscription. Welcome to the Animation Breakfast Club.
I need to start bending my leg and start sliding that one out. And then here I need to swing it over.
Oh, cool.
And do a spine reversal to get into this motion. So like if using just the barest like one in between each of them, like that's as simple as it could be.
All right.
Does that make sense, Stoic?
Yes, it does. Very
I kind of
much
need
so.
you, as the person who doesn't often animate, to let me know if I'm describing it in a way which is helpful and easy to follow, or if I'm not.
I'm following it. Yeah.
Are you?
Yes. So the blue is the breakdown. The reds are the keys, and the blacks are the in-betweens.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a motion that has one breakdown that's not overcomplicated. The two keys in the breakdown inform how the motion would be in between to someone who hasn't seen the full motion.
Silent Assassin says, so the breakdown is just one frame between the keys. Yes, it can be. Some motions you're going to want multiple breakdowns for, but for simple motions you probably only need one. And it's for when you want to add a bit of spice to your animations, like if you don't want to have just vanilla from A to B, I'm just going to in between these two keys and that's going to be it. You know, if you don't want to have just hammer is here, my middle frame is here, there it is, then having a different breakdown can add spice to that. So rather than have that, you might decide you want to have this, and then those in-betweens are going to be entirely different.
Yeah.
Right? It adds a little bit of spice
Yeah.
into your animations and makes it not just from point A to point B, but it makes the journey along the way like a little bit less predictable and a little bit more characterful. I was Wonderbread, you say you were studying animation at school and you're learning more than you did at uni, which is awesome. I have been wondering, like, what do you guys think to, like, perhaps a boot camp type dealio?
Boot camp.
Like an animation boot camp just covering the first 12 principles, where it doesn't necessarily, like, give you, like, it would be less like an animation challenge in the fact that it would be less like, do what you want, have fun doing it. Like, half the fun is seeing what you come up with and you guys expressing yourselves creatively. And it would be more just like, when you've completed these exercises, you will understand how to use this thing. And it's not like as creative, but you will come out of it with the tools you need to then be creative with them, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know, I'm not saying it would happen anytime soon, but I've been thinking about it a little bit. So I just wanted to see if there would be interest if I was to think more on it. So it probably wouldn't happen anytime in the next month or two.
It's probably a next year thing.
But yeah, you think you guys would be up for it? Great idea, super cool. Sounds amazing. Awesome.
You were talking about it. Can I say what you were thinking about it, like, in terms of?
Of course you can.
Well, you say it then, because it's good.
Okay. You guys like the idea of an animation bootcamp?
Mm-hmm.
How do you guys feel about shiny badges?
Shiny badges?
Yeah.
Whatever do you mean?
I mean, like, it would be a free thing, Silent Assassin. It would be completely free. Just to get people, like, who maybe feel like they didn't get to go to university, or people who are starting as adults and so therefore don't really want to go to university because they don't want to be like the odd one out. You know, or people who are just beginning, or people who just want a refresher, you know, just to give them the tools they would need to then be like, haha, I know what I kind of know what the tools are now. Now I'm going to go and fuck shit up and break everything and create weird things, you know?
You could say that if you want to be the very best animator.
Yeah, like no one ever was. Like, imagine shiny badges based on each of the 12 principles that you get to say, hey, I completed this principle. I was basically basing it on the Pokemon League. How would you guys think about doing an animation league?
Yes. I think it's pretty awesome.
So there would be like exercises where, unlike Animation Breakfast Club Animaling Challenges, where it's kind of like, let's just see what people do and kind of celebrate all the different stuff that we make together, it would be more like there would be a pass or a fail. But it wouldn't be a fail as in, oh, you failed the course, now you must leave. It would be a fail like, you didn't quite get this right, try it again. And you're not going to get the badge until you have done it correctly.
Till you've demonstrated the knowledge to overcome the principle.
Yeah. You pass or you die, says Ula. That's it. You pass or you die. Animation will murder you. Who is Team Rocket? We'd have to get someone. We already have, I don't know if Tib is still in chat, but we have someone who's already willing to be one of the Elite Four in our Pokemon League.
Okay.
Who would like be able to award a badge. So it's possible that we would each set challenges and then you can approach them in your own time and at your own pace. But when you complete one, you submit it to the relevant gym leader and they will either award you the badge or give you feedback on how to get there next time.
Yeah.
Your objective would be to get all 12 badges, whereupon you graduate from the league.
And you become an animation beginner.
Ula says I'd fail everyone. Ula, would you be interested in being a gym leader, or would that be like way too much? That's the thing, is I don't want to ask anyone, even though I just did. I don't want to ask anyone to volunteer for this.
Just anyone.
Because this is my crackpot idea, and like I said, it's going to be free. So it's just like it would be time for people that I'm not sure some people have. So I definitely don't want to push it onto anyone.
I think basically what they would like, you would create one challenge for each principal, and then the gym leader would look after people submitting to the challenge.
Yeah, I feel like there would be more than just like one simple exercise.
Oh, okay.
There would probably be a couple because some of the principles can get pretty like complex, and to know that you have understood it properly, it might require you doing something more than one time. Do I see myself as more of a champion or a professor?
Yeah, you are you?
I don't know. What would I even do? I don't know.
Give them.
I guess I'll see where I land in the grand scheme of things. Like, I definitely want to be hands-on with it. If other people are going to give their time to it, it seems only fair that I also, like, give my time to it. I don't think I'd be champion. Don't make me champion. There are many animators here, like, who are much better than I am at animating. But I would love to be a part of it and help organize it.
Would it replace the Animorning challenges? Silent Assassin asks.
It depends how we do it. Like, if we did it as a 12-week thing where we're like, okay, we're going to run this thing in this 12 weeks.
Oh.
And people can hop on board, then it would probably replace the Animorning challenges.
For at least those 3 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if it's more like a passive thing where we're like, okay, you can like tackle this anytime in your own time between these months or something, then it would be probably off stream. But I might award some badges on stream or congratulate people for getting badges on stream.
Oh, that makes sense.
I might just be like, congratulations to Astral Library for earning their Squash and Stretch badge.
Yeah.
You know?
I like that. Yeah. So it just can be something, once the sort of 12-week thing runs its course.
Yeah.
Then it's a kind of path. The challenges will always kind of be there.
Yeah. There's not a sign up or anything yet for NAC because this is literally me just being like yesterday night to Mike, hey, what if there was a Pokemon League but for animators?
And I was like, that's an awesome idea.
So that's as far as we've got.
I mean, she even pitched that it was a video game as part of that discussion.
Yeah,
so,
at one point we were like, should we just make it into a video game? So yeah, but if it eventually does happen, it would be open to anyone and anyone would be able to sign up for it. But yeah, that's it. Just gauging interest basically and seeing if that's something you guys would find like useful at all. And also kind of scoping out who might be interested in being a gym leader. I think if we did have gym leaders and it was more of a passive thing, we would have to do it so that the submissions are only open during certain months or something.
Yeah.
So that they're not like having to deal all year round. Like, especially if we're not able to pay anyone or compensate anyone in any way. Like, it would be a volunteer thing probably.
This, yeah.
Unless I win the lottery, in which case I would totally pay everyone. You can all have 3 million.
Sorry, it's just like, how much do you think people win from the lottery?
I don't know. How much do people win from the lottery?
Is it usually?
I won the lottery once.
I feel like 3 million is like roughly what people get.
Oh.
You just give everyone 3 million.
Give everyone 3 million. I'm going to win like 60 million.
Okay.
And I'm going to give everyone 3 million.
Challenge
every year.
everyone buy 100 lottery tickets.
Yeah. We can do it, guys. We can game the system.
Even that, the odds are still stacked.
Yeah, the odds are still like you're more likely to spontaneously combust than you are to win.
Wait, it didn't work. Come on.
Yeah. If we...
There we go.
Darkfall, if we did it like a 12-month thing, we wouldn't have all 12 challenges happening concurrently. If we were having like a 3-month thing where it ran as a 12-week program, we would have one person per week. Most likely.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, it's good to know that there's interest. I just want to earn badges.
You just
I'm
want
gonna be honest with you guys. I used to be in the Pokemon League and I just loved getting the badges. I just want badges.
Oh, hey, Ghost Star. Hope you're keeping well.
Yeah, it's great to see you. Hey! I hope that your comics are going super well. Every now and then I see them on Instagram and I'm like, wow, cool.
All right. Well, there seems to be interest in that, so that's yay.
Yeah.
Yay.
And we have to run. This we went a bit overtime, so I have to get to work.
Yeah, but hang on. Next challenge.
The next challenge.
The
We
next
need to set it.
challenge. You all ready for the next challenge?
Well,
You
we
all-
don't need you for this story, do we?
Huh? Yeah, we do.
Or do we?
Surprise! Surprise!
What?
The next challenge is not going to be an animation challenge.
It's not.
Well, it's,
what the fuck?
It sort of is. It sort of is. You all ready? You all ready to get into the gauntlet? Are you all ready to get judged by me?
Oh, I'm kind of scared.
Huh? You kind of scared? You should
Okay.
be scared. You should be scared.
I am.
You should be scared.
Oh
the
no.
next challenge is a color challenge.
A color challenge.
Ooh.
Ow.
Ooh.
Ow.
Yeah. So I would like you, if you are willing, to participate in the next Anna Morning Challenge, to pick an animated film and do 3 1-hour studies of a still from any animated movie, preferably a good one, so you're getting some value out of this. Don't, you know, pick
Some
one with-
value. Hey.
Hey, that's a value joke. And do 3 stills with try find ones that have either like interesting lighting setups or emotional scenes are good, because you can really study like what are they doing with the color and light to inform you that it's emotional. And yeah, pick 3.
Because it says everybody do a food fight study. Incredible.
You could do that. So yeah,
Still is a
just-
drawing. I think Doig is probably thinking more like a painting.
Oh, yeah. So when I say a still, I just mean a frame from the movie. Just do a study from, like, hit pause on the movie, and that's a still.
Astro Library says all 3 from the same movie.
They don't all have to be from the same movie, but yeah, I wouldn't put that limitation on. But that would be fun though, if you can have it from the same movie to see how it ranges across the time. Like, think about movies like Incredibles, where, you know, it starts off and, you know, Mr. Incredible, it's all flashy and whooshy and woo, yay! And then it changes to, like, the time skip and he's in the office and it's all drab and boring.
Ula
But
says, how do you do only 1 frame of something? Ula, that's your battle to fight. that's something you have to work out in your own life.
And then, like, when he starts to get more heroic again, the colors are like whoosh, whoosh, and bold and contrasty. You know?
Yeah.
So you could pick one film and pick from a range of the time, or just pick different films. It's up to you. Just whatever you feel like you'll be valuable to you. And then I'd like you to submit those, either as like, you know, still frames, like images, or maybe even a PSD with the 3 ones in it. Thank you.
Look.
Yeah.
Pocket Bear Illustrator, thank you so much.
And then
Thank you.
What I'll do, is this a week challenge or is this a 2-week challenge, India?
I mean, it's your challenge. You tell me, because you're judging them as well, aren't you? You're the one giving the feedback this time. Martine says 2 weeks, please.
Okay, 2 weeks. 2 weeks from now. Yeah, 2 weeks from now. It'll be on the Monday though. Or yeah.
Pocket Bear Illustrator says, let me scroll up a little bit. Oh hey, 7 months. Always happy to be supporting you guys. 7 months.
Whoa.
That's incredible. Pocket Bear Illustrator, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the sub. And we're really happy that you've been enjoying the streams. That's like the best. I'm setting it to the sub zone.
Thank you. The way to submit, if you follow our Twitter, I'll put up a form. I'll link to a Google form, and you'll submit the drawings through that. It might be easiest, like name them with your name in the files, so it's easy to group them, or maybe zip them. I'll see if I can make them as a zip thing. We don't really usually take still images as submissions, so it's going to be a little bit different.
I'm going to also learn from the fact that I forgot people to label their breakdowns. I forgot to ask for that in this challenge, and say it would be really helpful if you would provide the still that you did the study from.
Yes.
For comparison.
Yes.
And also maybe just let us know what it was from.
The way I usually do them myself is I'll have a canvas that has the film still above and then my canvas below. So just submit it like that format, and that way we can have a good visual comparison. See where you're going awry, and then we'll have a look at like how you do it.
Yeah.
And any suggestions or improving how to like get closer to the color. I will say limitation.
Whoa!
No color picking.
No color picking.
Gotta do it by eye.
No color picking.
No color picking.
No color picking.
No eyedropper tool.
Oh my gosh. Hard mode. Yeah, you heard him. And it doesn't have to be huge and big and detailed.
Yeah.
I think is the other big thing.
Yeah.
You can almost do it thumbnail size. It doesn't need to be... You don't need to replicate the image. We're not asking you to do like a full study of the frame. Doug's asking for a color study.
Yeah, no details. You don't need to put details.
Yeah, you don't need to paint faces. You don't need to like pick out things. You don't have to get everything like precisely right. You're looking at the colors more than anything.
Set your timer, 1 hour.
Yeah. If you want, on tomorrow's stream, Mike can show a couple of color studies he's done, so you guys can get the idea of the level of detail and stuff we'd be looking for.
Yep. So this is it's specifically animated films as well. So animated cinema color studies Animorny challenge.
Yeah. Astro Library is asking if maybe it'd be worth making a template.
I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do that.
All right. I'm excited to have an Animorny challenge that Mike's going to be leading the torch on. Leading the torch? Is that a thing? Sure. Leading the torch.
Leading the torch.
All right. Well, I gotta go.
All right. Let's go find someone to raid.
Let's see who's doing stuff. Clyde's streaming. Domo's streaming. Picori Mio's streaming.
Picori Mio. Let's see. Following. Quick.
Thank you guys for being here, and thank you to everyone who submitted stuff for the Animorning challenge as well. You guys are the best.
Iconis, I will answer your question tomorrow. They asked about game pipelines and stuff, but that's a bit of a more evolved conversation. So if you come back tomorrow, or if you check the VOD of tomorrow's VOD, I'll answer it.
Thanks, Doig. I appreciate it. Dexterous Demon says, "Oh no, I'm so bad at colour. I do usually end up colour picking everything." Well, this is your chance to get better. This is gonna teach you.
Let's raid.
Vinak says 2D animation only, or just any animated film. I think anything.
Yeah, any animated film. The reason for it being an animated film is that the color treatment and the lighting stuff, they might be a little bit more abstracted. They might be a little bit more simplified. So it's like, think about what would happen in a live action frame. There's a lot of noise and detail and physical detail, like stuff there. We take a little bit of that out and try and glean what we can from the stylization that's there. It's just a little bit more approachable overall. Yeah, I think we should raid Clyde today.
Yeah, let's do it. I think so too. Let's go see some more awesome 2D animation. So Clyde is an incredible animator and an awesome dude. He's super open with his knowledge and his streams are always really fun. At the minute he's making his own 2D animated film. It's going to be like 20 minutes long and it's based on Bitey Brackenwood, which he made, if you guys know what that is. Like, that was him. And it looks absolutely incredible. It's just like, you look at it and you're like, oh my gosh, what how did you do this?
It looks so good.
And then
it
he
looks
tells
so
you,
good.
because he's like, this is how I did it. So,
Oh,
yeah.
India, you got to do your burpees as well.
I do! Alright, I'm going to go and do them now. Thank you guys for reminding me. 10 burpees. I got it. I'll say goodbye to you guys first, though. And then you can quiz Mike tomorrow to make sure I did them, but I'm going to do them. I promise.
Oh, I totally did the wrong command there. But look, you got a raid call now. Woo!
What? How did you do the wrong command?
I put exclamation mark instead of slash.
Nom, 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 nom,
Thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Cool.
May the rest
Of your day.
be filled
With
adventure.
adventure.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
How are you doing today? Welcome, Raiders.